Final Fantasy X is the story of a group of young people fighting against a theocracy that is hell-bent on maintaining their political power, even if it means destroying the world around them. They're fighting a government that is xenophobic and anti-science, that's predicated on a status quo of cyclical violence. Thank God it's just a video game, right? But what if these youngsters didn't follow the paths laid out in front of them and instead tried to do their own thing? If they were supposed to be a white mage, maybe they'll do soccer. If they're supposed to be a black mage, maybe they'll be a warrior. Who knows? We're letting fate decide today and rolling the dice to determine what jobs our Final Fantasy X characters will have. And this is a long game, so a bad decision early could screw us up in a major way. Here's the rules. When we get a new party member, we roll to see what path they complete on the sphere grid, and nobody is allowed on their traditional path, at least for the first cycle. When a path is completely filled out, then we'll roll again, and they're still not allowed to use their traditional path. On the third roll, then we can do the normal path. Characters are allowed to grab stats on their way to whatever path they need, but can't grab abilities and cannot use abilities from their starting stats until we unlock them. Finally, there are a few fights where you're locked into using abilities. I can't do anything about that. We're not hacking the game. This is a standard copy. I always avoid mods as much as possible, so these challenges are very repeatable for the viewers at home. Check out Tulok Time if you want to see the VOD, or I should say VODs. This is a really long game, y'all. We were streaming it for multiple months. Tulok Card Bearing has the Magic the Gathering content. You know I'm going to be doing some Final Fantasy videos when that stuff drops. I am the only universes beyond enjoyer. Check us out on Twitch to see what game we're playing next, and join the Patreon to support the channel. It's the best place you can do it. If you said, hey, I'd watch you play anything, okay, time to prove it, big dog. Let's get started with the best protagonist in Final Fantasy history. So, very brief explanation of leveling up, because I know some of you have never touched a Final Fantasy. Also, if you haven't, each numbered entry is a totally new story. Don't worry if you haven't seen Final Fantasies 1 through 9, it's fresh today. Everyone levels up on a thing called the Sphere Grid. It's every level you can get in the game, and you can see all of it with every character, and everyone can get every ability and stat boost on it. Each character has a place that they start, and are normally locked off from going to other places off of their grid, but hey, the remaster gives us the Expert Grid, which lets you move around with a lot more flexibility. That's what makes this challenge possible. Everyone meet Tidus, or should I say not Tidus. They never say his name out loud. It's a bit of a GIF or GIF situation. Technically, he is called Tidus in Kingdom Hearts, but that's stupid. Thematically, the game is all about water. His love interest later is Yuna, which is the Korean word for moon. So symbolic synergy of Tidus being drawn to the moon in the water Final Fantasy game works a lot better. But much like the creator of GIF says it's pronounced GIF, but they're wrong because it should be GIF. There's no right answer. There's also no wrong answer, but people are very passionate about it because they don't have a lot else going on in their lives. Tidus has daddy issues because he's a blitzball player. It's Final Fantasy water polo. His dad was the Michael Jordan of blitzball, but if Michael Jordan liked drinking instead of gambling. Tonight is a big match. With big copyrighted music we can't play, so enjoy my narration. And also meet Auron. He's here to kick ass and use his left arm, and he's all out of left arms. But the stadium is being attacked by a giant tidal wave that also shoots missiles. By the way, July of 2001. If you were wondering when this game came out, it hit the PlayStation 2 just in time to have a giant city building collapse sequence not be in poor taste. Auron gives us a sword and we've got bugs to fight. This is the basic tutorial part, and it's very hard to lose. We haven't started leveling up yet, however, there is a slight problem. We're sometimes tasked with hitting buttons really fast. When my hands are in gamer keyboard position, I can't do a typing test. We'll eventually move to a controller, but then we'll have another problem that we'll talk about when we get to the controller. All good. This weird tentacle monster can't actually kill us. It's using Demi, which takes a percentage of our health, so, you know, hard for us to lose. We have to blow up the bridge to escape, which is very easy. Just smack the oil tanker. Mission accomplished. We get sucked into a big ol' space butthole. Speaking of getting sucked and buttholes, press S to go down. If we press F to pay respects, don't forget to press S to go down. You know what I'm saying? Remember, cats, always press S to go down, and you'll never frown. The suck dropped us off in some strange ruins and we're attacked by shark fish things. Oh, these are like the D&D creatures. What's the name again? What's the name of those? Grim Pixie, why don't you try Sauganese nuts? Oh! no! The big boss is way too strong for us. Pretty sure you literally can't win the fight. We're stranded in a big building and forced to survive without Flint. What are we? The Lulu tribe from Survivor 45? That's a joke for all my fans of Emily Flippin, financial analyst. Smash that like button if you're analysing your financials in the chat. We also get attacked by a monster, but rescued by a new party member. Question marks. She's not good at attacking, but well, that's bad, because later she does join the party and use grenades. That's how she's supposed to do damage, so that's something we can't do. Tidus dies, but we do live through the fight. This is where you're supposed to learn about how to level up with the sphere grid with the level up you got from beating the boss. But if a party member is dead in a fight, they don't get any experience. So Tidus was dead, so he didn't level up. Oh well, just gotta kill a few fish and we do level up. So Tidus is going to be our black mage. That's gotta be fine, right? Normally he's what's called a red mage in Final Fantasy terms. They use time-based spells like haste and slow, but are also good in combat, kind of a spell blade. At least that's what I thought. Turns out Tidus starts with 5 in his magic stat. It's all relative, but it is tied for the worst with Auron. Lulu, later you'll meet her, she's great. She's supposed to be the black mage and she starts with 20. I don't know that Tidus gets to 20 through the entire playthrough. This is the worst roll we could have rolled. None of that really matters in the early game since we can fight the squid and just use our basic attacks anyway. Mercifully, everything in the early game is pretty prepared for you to just use the base stats of the character. It's later that things become a problem. For now, we find out Riku is Riku, not to be confused with the goth kid from Kingdom Hearts who knows Tidus from Kingdom Hearts, who's the same Tidus but not really actually at all. Poor guy. Cloud and Leon are like the most badass of badass boys in the Kingdom Hearts games, and Tidus is the child you can bully if you want to learn guard before Destiny Islands. Apparently the city we're from got blown up 1,000 years ago by a space whale called Sin. Then we get hit with Sin again. Oof. But you know what would be a real sin? If you missed out on today's sponsor, Factor. That's right, gamers, this video is sponsored by Factor. Factor is a meal delivery service that sends you fresh, never frozen meals that are ready to eat in 2 minutes. By the time the enemy overdrive animation is done, you could have dinner. Imagine that. And no matter what food you're imagining, Factor's got you covered. Keto, calorie smart, protein plus, whatever you're trying to do, Factor's on your side, and they're gonna make sure you've got some tasty food options. Think about all the time you need to spend grinding your characters in your favorite RPG. Wouldn't you rather be doing that than going to the grocery store or doing dishes every night? Factor's convenience is a major help for any serious gamer. And you don't fall into the takeout trap. I know those delivery apps love adding tiny little fees, everything here and there, until you're paying $30 for some chicken fingers. No, you deserve better than that, and you deserve better chicken too. Factor does both, saving you money and getting you fresher ingredients. So what are you waiting for, gamers? Head to factor75.com and enter offer code 50HEIGHT at checkout for 50% off your first Factor box and free shipping. Again, that's factor75.com, or click the link in the description and enter offer code 50HEIGHT at checkout for 50% off your first Factor box and free shipping. Now let's go back to doing our jobs wrong.
Always tell me he miss it, he wanna
At this point, I'm done getting attached to new characters. Every time we meet people, the space whale just shows up to ruin it, but this is Waka. He's voiced by Bender from Futurama, doing a lazy Hawaiian accent. 2001.
Different times indeed. Better times? Not for all.
He's a blitzball man and also racist, but we'll talk about his racism later. Roll on the table and find out he's gonna be our thief. There's some great dramatic irony there. Riku is supposed to be the thief, stealing things and using mechanical items like grenades. Waka, narratively, hates machines. Also, the thief path is the hardest to get to at the beginning, so it looks like Waka is gonna be pretty useless too. Or at least he would be if he didn't have balls. We love balls here. Balls can hit things in the air, and nobody else on the team has balls, which makes Waka's balls mandatory for a lot of fights, even if he sucks balls. And that's not just me saying that. The dude is a blitzball team captain, and they've never won a game. Our little rugby Encino man gets brought up to speed. Yevon is God. God doesn't like machines. Waka likes God. Waka doesn't like machines. The Crusaders fight the space whale Sin, and much like Waka, are O and infinity with their win record. Apparently everyone in Besaid sucks at their job. Even the summoner has been stuck in the temple for way too long. This dumb old man might die. Only a summoner and their guardians are technically allowed into the temple per the teachings of the church, but hey, he just doesn't go to church. Who cares? Temple puzzles are a massive part of the game's runtime. They're not good content. We're skipping them. Right into the room with the other 3 party members. Lulu.
She's beautiful, she's rich, she's got Huge tracts of land.
Who's pressing S in the chat? Kimari, who isn't particularly chatty, and the summoner, Yuna. She's got David Bowie eyes and a Bjork delivery, just sadly whispering all of her dialogue like she's got something really depressing looming over her. No time to dwell on that. She summoned Valifor, I like to call it Titty Chicken, something we're not going to be using. Summons are great in this game, but they don't run along the sphere grid, so I feel like it's against the spirit of the challenge. Yuna's going on a pilgrimage to get all the summons and defeat Sin the Space Whale. Sounds great. I'm in, because it's on the way to Blitz Ball, so we might as well go with. Despite being warned not to tell people he is from Xanarkand, the city that got blown up 10,000 years ago, Tidus keeps introducing himself as Tidus from Xanarkand, the city that got blown up 10,000 years ago. He's not smart, he's good at other things. Well, not in this run. In this run, he's very bad, but I love him. Before we go, Waka gives us his dead brother's sword. He died fighting Sin and was supposed to marry Lulu. Couldn't be me. If I was engaged to Lulu, I would be moving to the most landlocked part of this world, praising Yevon and getting really good at holding my breath.
If you know what I'm talking about.
Yuna and Lulu are added to the party. Let's find their jobs. Okay, time to roll. 3. So Yuna is going to be our archer, and Lulu will be our white mage. Okay. Lulu as a white mage rocks, like literally run saving. Black mage and white mage both use the same stats. Magic. Yuna as an archer sucks. That's what Waka's supposed to be. It applies status effects to enemies as you hit them. Yuna has the worst strength of the entire party, so having her hit stuff sucks. Yuna sucks, Waka's terrible, Tidus is terrible, but at least our healer will be good. Obviously, we won't talk about every encounter, there are too many, but Flans are worth mentioning. Flans and elementals are enemies you're supposed to hit with black magic. They basically are only weak to black magic, which is what Lulu is supposed to be doing for you. But Tidus is doing it instead, and his magic stat is the worst in the game, so he still does more damage hitting them with a regular attack. If you play Final Fantasy X, you know that's pathetic. If you don't, trust me, it's pathetic. They will be a major problem for us for basically the entire game. I'll skip that problem in the interest of a somewhat reasonable video length, but they will be a problem nonetheless. There's a quick boss fight against Kimari before he joins the party. I don't think you can really lose it. Also, he weirdly doesn't join the party right after. You have to do a summon fight with Yuna. It's mandatory. Didn't have an option here, so we're still obeying the rules. Also, I didn't add that rule till later. These are all pretty loosey-goosey in general. I'm sorry if that's not quite your thing, but it's kind of how I do things here. You know, I'm mostly just doing this for fun. Our party makes its way to the coast. Hopefully, we don't get attacked by Sin again.
Oh Christ, I'm about to sin again. I said I love you to that man, but I'm not feeling it.
Wow, it's almost as though Sin follows us wherever we go, except it's not so much our sin, it's the sin of society. This is a farmer's favorite fight because you can just one-shot the Sin spawn with certain characters and get an infinite amount of experience here. We're not doing that. Waka will be our only person who hits the Fin though, because despite being selected for Black Mage duty, Tidus still hasn't learned a spell. This is also the beginning of a philosophy. Everyone put your hand on the Blitz Ball. Experience is given in a fight depending on which characters participated in the fight. The amount of participation is irrelevant. Did Lulu make her teddy bear walk up and kick someone? That is the same contribution as Waka doing 100% of the damage to the boss, or Tidus and Kimari killing 100% of the adds, from the game's perspective at least. For most fights, we're going to try to mix in everyone so everyone gets experience and can move through their sphere grid. If they're in a bad sphere grid, it will hopefully get them to a good one. As I am recording this part, I am at the end game of the stream time, and were I to do this again, I would not do this again. This strategy, at least. I'd play the game again, it's so fun, it's one of my favorite games of all time, but if I rolled Tidus as a black mage again, or a white mage, he'd be hitting the bench. Actually, if I rolled him as a white mage, I'd straight up reset. Tidus and Waka fell off the boat at the end of the boss fight, so they get a secret bonus boss fight that's not secret, it's mandatory. Kind of like the Ronnie quest. Easy strategy here, just putting darkness on the tentacle, and it will miss. Oh, wait! Waka can't put darkness on the tentacles because of the challenge rules. Add in endlessly respawning piranha per spawna, if you will, and we've got a problem. Not a big one. Potions are the solution here. It would be great if we could save them for harder bosses, but well, we do what we must to survive. After that, we get a whole boatload of experience and get back on the boat safe and sound. Kilika is not safe and sound. It gets pretty blown up. It would be very nice if we could play the music for this Yuna dancing scene. It's a very emotionally moving moment of the game that really starts to, kind of tie Tidus to this world that he's a little bit isekai'd into. But sadly, Square is very grumpy about their music being used, so well, there's this.
Onto the temple, where we pray for victory.
I'm sorry. Was the underwater soccer team helping this devastated village fix their shit? But he's like, we gotta go to the temple. We gotta pray for a win. Yeah, bro really said, New Orleans got destroyed? Damn, thoughts and prayers for the Mets to win the World Series this year, baby. It's all about the Mets. Ludicolo is a thick boy with poison attacks. He's very weak to fire, so it would be nice if anyone on the squad could cast fire. Challenge rules dictate Lulu cannot, so I guess we'll burn through a bunch more potions. Remember how I said we weren't doing summons, but also that rule didn't apply right away? Well, this is the fight that decides that. Titty Chicken's simply too strong. If we could use Titty Chicken in every fight, we'd be cheating the game and ourselves out of the opportunity to enjoy the difficulty Square put in there. In the Mass Effect video, I hated spells. In this one, I'm saying summoning makes the game too easy. We can never escape Elden Ring if you squint. Big downside to not using summons, Yuna's ult is summoning, so just another way Yuna sucks.
You underestimate my power!
Seriously, girl's on the walk-a-path with the stick. She sucks and she'll always suck, which sucks. Because I love Yuna, I love Tidus, and I want both of them to be good, but they will forever be useless in this run. New boss is Gino, and if you're a fan of this boss, I'm sorry, I'm not doing a no-hit run, okay? That's just not really what I do. I don't think that's interesting for me to do or fun for me to do. It's fine if you enjoy that content, but sorry, it's spelled different. Anyway, this boss doesn't want to be hit, much like Gino, until we break the tentacles. Then we do some real damage. In a normal playthrough, you could hit it with magic, but the tentacles would absorb it. Takes more damage from fire. I got fire. Boom, babe. Well, we tried the magic.
It's hard as rock. My sword's no good.
I wonder what they're telling us to do. Oh, right. Bring in Lulu so she can attack it. Although, you know what? We have said overdrives are allowed, right? And if overdrives are allowed, I mean, that fire opens up the beastie so we can do some actual damage. Lulu has cure now and she's so good at it. It's a healing spell. Enough negativity. Let's talk about how much we lucked out getting Lulu on White Mage. Kimahri as a White Mage would have been fine too, but if it wasn't one of those two, I think this is literally an unwinnable challenge. Didn't realize that when I did my rolls for the classes off screen, but I don't know, just trust me. Like, what motivation do I have to lie? I cheat in these challenges all the time, openly. I tell you about it. Why would I lie about that? Tidus is an official guardian. Kilika Temple is fire themed, so pretty. Skip back to the boat. Work out our daddy issues with a soccer ball, and y'all, I have no idea what this is gonna look like on PC. Okay, press up, left, and A at the same time. Oh, right.
You're out of your league. No one else. You're out of your league.
I was waiting for the prompt to show up as it did in the practice.
Told you.
Yeah, that's fine. For the first time in the game, we managed to complete an entire boat ride without being attacked by Sin. Everybody cheer. So we got that going for us. We've made it to Luca. If you wanted a tournament arc, this is the closest you're gonna get. We're gonna play soccer.
We like sports and we don't care who knows. From shooting hoops to the Super Bowl.
Oh look, it's Mr. Seymour. We're right at the end of the stream, but don't worry. If you wanted to press S for him, you'll get to see more later. Apparently, Orin is here, which makes sense. Dude loves blitzballs almost as much as Sin hates boats. Blitzball match has started, but Tidus isn't on the team, I guess? It's the Al Bhed, and they kidnapped Yuna. Oh no! Tidus, Kim, and Lulu gotta fight a bunch of robots, since the Al Bhed are all about those machines. It's why Waka is so racist against them. You might argue that he's just devoted to his religion, but if your religion is a justification for bigotry, it's still bigotry. Anyway, we have to fight a blitzball pitching machine. The key here is to just hit the crane with thunder to power it up, then touch the button to hit the boss with the claw. Works great. Does a ton of of damage, and it frees Yuna from the Al bed. It doesn't matter that Tidus is absolutely garbage at using thunder. Plot twist, Yuna is half Al bed on her mother's side. Is Waka gonna be racist against her? Maybe after he wins his first ever game of Blitzball. Cheer! Yay! I actually don't have cheer. I missed that on the upgrade path with Orin. That's going to be a problem later. We don't have to talk about that yet. It's time for us to play our very first game of Blitzball.
Watching sports with girls is a pain. They don't know the rules. There's no time to explain.
We're gonna skip that part. Sin didn't attack our boat, so he has to attack our Super Bowl. Waka and Tidus remain the only swimming characters, so they'll fight the fish. Orin would have a cool reveal cutscene if the screen wasn't greened out. Yeah, I don't know why. Sometimes it just green screens cutscenes, and we just get nothing. He's there. Yay! Important thing, his weapon has piercing and goes through armor. Neat. We can see Mr. Seymour summon his big Spirit Ash anima and then get green screened. Yeah, so I guess we don't get to see what that does. At least we'll never have to fight it. Tidus and Orin clarify some lore. Jack and Orin worked with Yuna's dad to beat Sin. Then he time traveled back to pick up Tidus. Makes sense. Oh, also,
Sin is jacked.
No, that's ridiculous. No way. I don't believe you.
guess we got the whale of all daddy issues. Oh wait, is Tidus like super Luke Skywalker pilled? Whiny blonde twink who finds out the main villain is his dad? It checks out. Designed by Tetsuya Nomura, dude loves himself some Star Wars. Orin has officially joined the squad. He'll be taking the Tidus path, aka Red Mage, making him very good. It's a great path for him. Now here's the meme cutscene. You know it. Even if you don't know Final Fantasy X, you know this laugh. He become the Joker. What terrible voice acting. He doesn't sound like he's really laughing at all. Because he's not, you morons. Yuna and Tidus are forcing themselves to laugh because the journey is a major bummer and full of trials. Everyone dunks on them for sounding crazy in-game. Because yes, out of context, they do sound crazy.
So a very complicated story for Smurfs to get involved with in this episode of Smurfs.
Lots of grinding happens on the high road. You don't need to see it, skip. We'll jump ahead to fighting the Chocobo Eater. He loves chimkin nuggets almost as much as I do. Is Wayne Brady gonna have to Chocobo? With his big hands, he's trying to get us off this cliff, but we can get him off the cliff too. Who will get who off first? Yuna helps out by blinding him, Kinky, then we get him on his back with our heaviest hitters. Orin has my favorite spell in the game now, Haste. It makes your characters go faster. It's so good. More turns is more good. Manipulate that initiative, and oh god, Lulu died in one hit. She can heal, sure, but she is not great at taking damage. We have to reapply the dark attack, but we're so close to getting him off. He's right at the edge and on his back too. Oh, and then he shoves us back. So close. Damn, dude really knows how to throw it back. I'm not totally sure why he hits blizzards out his ass, but it's fine. We just keep hitting him. It's a pretty safe fight. We win with no major issues. This is also the last stream I'm playing with the keyboard because after 2 hours of that, my hands hurt. That's no good. Next time, we surely defeat Sin. Okay, so we're back with a controller, and we've got to learn the buttons, which is harder than you might think, because for whatever reason, Steam does not respect my DualSense wireless PlayStation 5 controller with state-of-the-art motion controls and unmatched haptic feedback. It thinks it's an Xbox controller. So, there are button prompts. It thinks this is an Xbox controller, so whenever we see a button prompt, X is B, triangle is Y, circle is A, and square is X. If that's enough to make you have an aneurysm, wait till you have to figure it out in the middle of a boss fight with 2 seconds on the clock to land Orin's ult. The Crusaders want to fight Sin with Forbidden Machina. Seymour thinks that's fine, Waka doesn't. Apparently, when his dead brother, who's very dead, tried to fight Sin, he was using Forbidden Machina instead of the cool sword he gave to us. Hey big dog, the sword wouldn't have worked either. Our job is weirdly just to get a good vantage point to watch it all go down. I guess it makes sense. Yuna isn't ready to beat Sin yet, everyone knows that, but it's kind of weird. The Luca folks are having a goer at it, and we're just like, cool, can't wait to see.
What would you call that? Damn good television.
Just kidding, they had a big old monster boss fiend in a cage they were shocking to summon Sin. It breaks out and we have to fight it. It's got a sensitive head, 2 hands that shield its tummy face. Even Kamari and Orin's piercing attacks don't go through that, but they can hit the hands. The hands have armor, and the armor doubles up armor to protect the tummy. I think that's what's going on, not totally sure. When the head starts wiggling suspiciously, we've got to hit it with a magic or a blitz ball, otherwise we're gonna get got. We don't have to do a lot of damage there, just enough to break its focus, which is great, because Tidus can't do a lot of damage. He can die though, he can die really fast. Good news, gamers, Lulu has the life spell, which brings squad members back to life. Uses a lot of her MP, so it's best if things don't die, but it's better than just having a corpse sitting around, which we'd have a lot of, because this thing one-shots almost every member of our party. The only people who can live a hit from it are Orin and Kimari. Yikes. Prescription strength. Yikes. Weirdly, Lulu ends up being a great tank here because she has the highest evasion. If we're getting one-shot by everything, the character who can avoid the one-shot becomes the most beefiest, even if she's the most frail. Orin can haste up Orin so he can hit more, and he's gonna stay in because he can actually take a hit. None of Yuna's special attacks work. Silence attack would stop it from spellcasting, but we can't hit the head from the ground because, you know, she's using a stick. Dark attack would make it miss, but it's immune. Tidus is a fine backup for Wakka when, you know, Wakka's dead. Lulu is running low on magic, which is pretty concerning. We have to switch to using items for the healing, but then I realized this boss has way too much health left, so we use an elixir, which fully heals our HP and magic. It's a very rare item that is not great to spend, but, you know, you just gotta do it sometimes. This is a boss. It's a fine place to use it. Also, Tidus can only cast like 7 times total, so yeah, we need Wakka alive to hit the head. God, Tidus is terrible. After several cycles of breaking the arms, Wakka can break the head. It doesn't fall off or anything, just gets gray and sad. At least now we don't have to worry about Thunder, the attack that was the easiest to survive and avoid. We can just use Null Shock, which is a defensive spell that Lulu has and makes us totally immune to lightning. It's honestly just good for initiative fixing. He has fewer turns now, we have more turns to hit him more. Haste on every squad member makes it go even faster, even if our damage is still pretty bad. Final hit from our boy, not Tidus. Let's go. That's the last we'll see of this fucker.
Are you sure about that?
So this is where the Crusaders get Thanos snapped. Not totally sure how we're going to beat that monster, but we'll figure it out, I'm sure. Okay, apparently we have to fight the big scary monster again, but this time Seymour joins the party. I guess we'll roll for his class at the end of the fight. Everything he does is better than all of our party members. Maybe better than all of them combined. It makes the fight super easy. Hope we don't have to fight that guy later. The Albed lose in the cutscene, but to be honest, the laser seemed like it was doing a little bit. I don't know, maybe if Yevon stopped whining so much and invested their money into Machina instead of blitzball stadiums, they could just nuke Sin. It's only a 7-7, come on. Well, that was an absolute bust. There's a bunch of fiends on the road, not important, followed by the temple puzzle. Would you say I enjoyed this puzzle?
No way, Jose.
It's funny, because this is the Jose Temple. It's a pun. If only we had a sound effect we used when we do cheesy puns. The temple just gives us Ixion. It's a thunder horse we're never going to summon. Speaking of things that are useless, Riku won't be a thief. We're recruiting her anyway. I'm really yada-ing so much of this game, you really absolutely should play it. We're effectively skipping all character development in both ways, cutscenes that endear you to characters, and the enemies we grind on to develop our characters. I will not skip the shoe puff though. I got limits, and skipping over the dinosaur fairy is one of those. Unfortunately, the dinosaur fairy is cut short by the damn Albed kidnapping Yuna. We've got to fight it with Tidus and Wakka because they are the only characters who can swim. Remember how Tidus isn't good at black magic? Well, good news. Being on the black mage path has also made him bad at hitting things at this point in the game. To stop the Machina from dropping the depth charges, you need to deal a good amount of damage to it, or hit it a certain number of times. I don't know which it's supposed to be. I think the move here is supposed to be use haste, and then your boys move twice as fast. But we don't have haste, because Tidus isn't a red mage, he's a black mage. Depth charges also make us worse at hitting it to stop depth charges because they make us blind. We are cooked here. It's our first game over. The first of many to this boss. God, not having Lulu in this fight is so bleak. She could solve so many of our problems, healing us, curing our eyes, being pretty, all of those things. Getting through the fight requires like just luck, just throwing a ball with our eyes covered in oil. Wakka goes full mask off racist.
Those sand-blasted grease monkeys.
Little far. All right, I'm gonna go swap over some laundry. Hopefully there isn't like a cutscene that heavily sexualizes an underage character.
And he's pretty young. We try not to sexualize her.
Yeah, Riku was an Albed piloting the mech. No, she does not get a mech later. And yes, she's canonically 15. Yikes.
She was the one who helped me before I was washed up on Besaid. She's an Albed.
I thought you were going to say she was an Albed, but then you just said Albed. Alright, so this is the only time we're doing age discourse for the video. Everyone's age in this game is wrong. They're all like 10 years too young. Orin's supposed to be 35. No, generously you could say 45, but I'm guessing mid-50s. Lulu is a widow, or would have been a widow if Chapu didn't fumble the blitz ball. She's 22. Wakka's 23 and retiring from professional sports. Too young to do that. 33 makes more sense. Tidus is the lead player on the Xanarkin Abes, and he's like head quarterback. At 17. I don't buy it. Team captain for a professional sports team, that's 27, not 17. Occasionally, a rookie will become head quarterback, but not till they finish playing college blitzball. So yeah, Riku as a 15-year-old salvage ship mechanic? No, I don't buy it. A 25-year-old salvage ship mechanic? Honestly, even that seems too young. I think this is just one of those things that's a little uncomfortable about anime culture. They're so obsessed with making the characters young, this time they forgot to even check if it makes fucking sense. It's gross. It's bad. Now let's talk about how Riku will be bad just in the game. So she's supposed to be the Thief class, which is the strongest class in the game, and good lord, it is not even close. Her ult attack can make or break fights by being insanely flexible and buffing you to high heaven or just deleting enemy HP. She can be a healer. She can do insane damage per round. She is just the best. But we can't make her use items or steal items, so she's just a squishy baby who can't do anything. Can't do damage, can't take a hit, can't heal, just useless. Except use the ult. We're still using ults, and hers is still very valuable. But unless we started her as a mage of some kind, she's gonna be pretty useless. Blue mage isn't actually a mage, it's barely a class. It's only one section of the sphere grid, every other class has like 12. Maybe she'll multi-class to something good fast, but it's looking like she's gonna be shit. Along with Tidus, who's useless, and Yuna, who sucks. At least they all have each other.
You shouldn't have any secrets from me. I'm your future husband.
You sure about that? Maybe I'll change my mind.
It's Guado Salami, home to the Guado, and probably some salami. Look at this party. There's quite the spread Maester Seymour put out for us. Google Maester Seymour's impressive spread on your work computer to find out more. Or I can just tell you more. They're wood elves. The Guado are wood elves. You're familiar with a wood elf? That's them. I'm gonna roast Seymour's look here because I always thought he had a big tummy. And no, he doesn't. It's just like loose fabric pooling around his waist. Nothing wrong with having a tummy. If you have a tummy, rock that tummy. But if you don't have a tummy, and your weird N-Boss bathrobe you wear just makes it look like you have a tummy, you did it wrong. He's got a flashback sphere to show us Xanarkin as Tidus knew it, but also show us Lady Yunalesca, who also has questionable fashion choices. If her name sounds familiar, it's because Yuna is in our party, and Fresca is a grapefruit-flavored soda. Goes down great with French fries.
Nothing tastes like Fresca.
Except grapefruit, right? This is Seymour's proposal, and Googling the ages, this man is 28, proposing to a 17-year-old, which means he's 38, proposing to a 27-year-old, which would be fine. Your brain's fully developed at that point. What if you just like banging relatively older dudes? I'm not gonna judge. Seymour might propose, but we're the one who grabs the chest outside the palace. Pervert. Tidus objects to the union. The rest of the party's pretty mixed on it. While we're here, Yuna wants to go to the far plane, which is heaven, kind of. You get to see a bunch of ghosts, but they're actually just goofy ghosts hitting your memory to make you remember people who are dead. That's per Riku. She's a godless heathen, though. Wakka sees Chapu. He does not see Yuna's very Albed mother. That's good. But here's why Riku is wrong. Tidus does not see Jecht, which he should if they're just fairies that hit your memory, right? So sorry, Riku, magic exists. That's a big fat L for r/anti-Yevon. Our little trip ends with Seymour's dad crawling out of the far plane, another big fat L for r/anti-Yevon, but also maybe a W for them? More on that later. Yuna sends him back, but gets a secret sphere from him. Maybe she'll watch it later. We enter the Thunder Plane, and Yuna is still undecided on the proposal. Unlike me, I'm very decided. For all those unaware, there's a little mini game with lightning strikes where you can press a button at the right time to dodge the lightning, and if you do it 100 times, you get something for the Ultima weapons. Basically the best weapon each character can have. I'm not doing it.
No.
What?
I said no.
Why not?
I don't want to.
Biggest questions I get. Am I dodging the lightning? Am I doing the extra temple puzzles? And am I doing the blitzball tournament? No, no, and no. As I am writing this, we still have not completed the streams for the video. We're already at 22 hours of stream time, which is double a normal Elden Ring run. Doesn't feel double that because I'm actually having fun, but I wouldn't be having fun if I did all the extra tedious shit for some Ultima stuff. I'm very nervous I'm gonna have to do tedious shit for the Ultima stuff to win. Anyway, it's just generic walking and fighting fiends until Riku gets sick of the thunderstorm and Yuna gets a room. She has diarrhea. God forbid a woman have diarrhea. 30 minutes later, we've made it through the Thunder Plains. Because of the Thunder Plains, not because of the diarrhea. It's the Macarena Woods. 2001 was about 8 years too late to be enjoying the Macarena, but Japan is far away from America, and before the internet was invented in 2010, all culture was shared via boat. We end up in a fight with just like some water. That's it. Immune to censors. We can't censor it. This boss is gonna get a Netflix stand-up special at this rate. It does spells, so we put up our defenses with Lulu. Sadly, we cannot slow this boss. Most bosses are immune to slow, but we can haste up our entire squad slowly. It's a slow haste thing. After everyone gets their hand on the blitz ball, we get in a very simple pattern of no blaze, hit, repeat. The counterattack fires are only costing us a little bit of magic with Lulu every time, specifically 2 magic. She has over 200, so unless we take 100 hits this fight, it'll be fine. Kimahri hit the magic break, so even when a fire does get through, it doesn't do very much damage. It's cut in half from magic break. The real scary move is when it just gets wide and presses the whole party. We actually have to slow down and think for like a second. This is an easy boss. It's not a good looking boss. It's not an interesting boss. Its connection to the story is dubious at best. Maybe the worst boss in the game. There are certainly going to be more frustrating bosses later, but this one's just kind of nothing. Like it's not even supposed to be in the area. Our reward is a home movie of Jecht, our daddy, on his adventure with Yuna's daddy. And no, our dads did not hook up. Get your minds out of the gutter. Braska was a devoted family man who loved his wife. Jecht and Auron hooked up. You know why his arm is always in a sling? Because it was worn out from Shooting Star Overdrives he was given to Tidus's dad. We unlocked Shooting Star Overdrive from watching that movie. Hopefully Tidus never finds a video of Auron using it. Before we make it to Seymour's temple, we get in another fight with the Al Bhed and their forbidden Machina. To be honest, I'm starting to agree with Waka. This shit sucks. The little floating doodad stops us from using magic or summoning. We couldn't really use magic anyway because Tidus is the only one with black magic and he's garbage. And summoning, we're not using either. Gatling gun puts hits on everyone a little bit. I think Lulu is actually a great party member coming out here to pray. Heals everyone a little bit. Once we clear the little buzzer, Lulu can hit her ult. It does some pretty good damage. And then she gets one shot. Oh no. The whole time it's counting down towards mana beam. Sure. Yeah. Normally you'd just summon and have your Aeon tank the hit. We can't do that. Since Lulu charges her ult by taking damage though, we can get it back nice and quickly. Auron lives on the second mana beam because he is dummy thick. I see what Jecht saw in him. With that, we're able to res the rest of the party and get back into it. Maybe Tidus's ult will do less damage than a basic attack from Auron. Okay, we get wiped. Oof. Attempt 2. We're trying to leave the little bot buddy out so we can take Gatling guns instead of mana beams or ram attacks. But here we learn something. You're gonna go ahead and hit a Mega Potion. What black magic do you have? Yuna has black magic? She has Drain. So Drain is a spell on Waka's path. It sucks, because Waka uses it, and his magic stat is really low. But Yuna's magic stat is quite high, which means when she uses it, she does twice as much damage as Auron and Kimahri do with their attacks. Also, it heals her that amount of damage as well, because she's on the archer path. She actually has a decent amount of health to be healed. There's a reason I've been specifically saying Yuna sucks, because she does. But now it's literal. Hell, even more crazy, Drain counts as a fast action because it's supposed to be, you know, kind of ass. It's all going great till another buddy comes out and then we have to stop draining. Bummer. Yuna sucked hard enough though, and we're able to close this out with a win. The Al Bhed drove off, but Waka now knows that Riku is an Al Bhed. It doesn't go well. At least we can ride some sick ass snowmobiles to the temple. Sure, they're heretical affronts to Yevon, but they're also fucking sick. okay? Apparently the Albed are trying to kidnap summoners because they sacrifice themselves on a pilgrimage. Tidus assumes that this is metaphorical for some reason. It is not. He'll figure it out soon. We've made it to the temple. Yuna's gonna run ahead and talk to Seymour about that proposal, but we find a sphere she got from Seymour's dad. He killed his dad, that motherfucker. Or dad murderer. Sorry. Seymour is bad, and we've got to save Yuna from his weird, poorly dressed, patriciding ass. Time for the first of many Seymour boss fights. Yeah, I said first, oh no. He's got a few goons that block for him to take any damage and consistently give themselves 1000 HP from a potion anytime they take damage. That's bad. That means this is going to be one long goon sesh. Currently, he's just hitting us with a bunch of magic, so we slap the gnolls up while having Yuna do her thing. Turns out it's actually quite easy to stop the potions. We just need Wakka to steal from these people. Crimes are good, especially crimes against Yevon. Almost as cool as using Machina. This is an easy part. So everyone come get a hand on the blitz ball. The hard part comes later. He pulls out Anima, and she's one bad mother.
Shut your mouth.
Talking about Anima.
And we can dig it.
Riku has the strongest ult in the game, mixing two items together to do an absurd amount of damage. There is a massive chart you need to look up if you don't want to just wing it, but it makes Riku useful, only for her ult. It will save us from several basically unwinnable boss fights. Still, when Anima hits her ult, we just straight up lose. It's a race against the clock, and the clock has a move that one-shots every character. I hate that clock. I do figure out some important stuff though. Wakka hits harder with silence grenades. That's another great damage option for us, but this time we weren't able to bring the DPS. At least the overdrive looks neat as we all die. Phase 1 goes smoother when we know what we're doing. Orin hastes up himself and Lulu. Wakka steals, then we clear out the boys, while Lulu sets up everyone to be immune to magic damage. Don't they all look cool with all the balls circling around them? Seymour really can't do anything to us, so I just kind of fast forward to the Anima part and then use Riku's ult and Lulu's ult for massive damage. Yuna hits the drains, and that's enough consistent damage to make Anima get by much easier. Final phase is just Seymour using multi-versions of all his spells. Lulu can make us immune to them, and then Yuna can suck him to death. Finally, an easy win, and we unlock Shiva. I'm glad we didn't have to do a terrible puzzle this time. We need to run, because we just committed papicide? Uh-oh, it looks like in our rush to get out, we're going to have to do a puzzle. Sincerely wild that they don't catch us while we do the obligatory ice puzzle. They finally catch up to us outside with a big water bottle. It's time for a Yeti fight. Of course, it one-shots Lulu. Folks, I don't know if this is clear. I am not a big grinder, probably because I'm cishet, and for that I am truly sorry, but it means that we're low health across the board. Wakka steals potions, then Yuna starts slurping up everyone's HP, vampire style. These are all vampire jokes, not oral sex jokes. Get your minds out of the gutter. The extra boys have been killed, so at least this boy won't be getting any buffs anymore. Our drains are doing less damage since they got a shell off on the Yeti before they died. Protect is also up. This would be a great fight to use Dispel, but it's deeper into the white mage path than Lulu has gotten because I have not grinded. Good news, Lulu has a lot of magic, so she can just kind of life people back to life over and over again. As long as she doesn't get punched, and she gets punched a lot. It's like he knows. It burns a lot of our Phoenix downs, but it's fine. The move that ends up working great is Provoke. Orin can force the Yeti to attack him, which means we can constantly cure him with Lulu. We don't have a Protect spell, but Wakka has a Light Curtain, which does effectively the same thing with an item. Slow, steady, get it done. First try win. Unfortunately, the win happens on top of a frozen lake, so now we're at the bottom of a frozen lake. And everyone's fine? I think? Unclear. Thankfully, the bottom of the lake is playing the Hymn of the Faith, which is basically hot to go for Spira. Jax shows up as Sin to bring us to the desert. Oh fuck, we're stuck with just Tidus. Oh no. Oh no, Tidus is so ass though. Ow.
Are you alright?
She does not have that ability. The game cheated. The desert is weirdly fine for us. Yuna is gone. The Albed got her off screen. Very cool of them. So she's supposed to be the healer, the game assumes. Riku is going to be the healer using Albed potions. The game also assumes. Those are a special item you can only use from the use menu. But Wakka is our Riku, so he'll be great at that. We still have our healer, Lulu. she's great at healing. Even better, there's no flans or elementals in this area, which means it doesn't matter that Tidus is garbage at casting. This area is very chill. I love it. I mean, yeah, of course I miss Yuna and her ability to drain enemies really fast. Honestly though, I don't love that Wakka has even more utility as a thief. In normal playthroughs, he already has a ton of utility because he can hit birds and gets the strongest ults in the game if you play Blitzball. I'm never playing Blitzball, by the way. But here, he's also able to use items and steal, which instantly kills machines. It's so busted. Also, the ranger path on the sphere grid is just cracked, so many good stats are on that path. You'll see later with Yuna ending up stronger than Tidus and Wakka combined. Like, she's probably our third strongest physical attacker by the end. It's wild stuff happening this run. We make it to the home base of the Albed. They call it home creative. It's the Albed word for base. Guado Salam is attacking because we killed Seymour, who is still alive because Yuna didn't get to send him to heaven. Uh-oh. There's a bunch of mandatory fights with Salami guys. The real boss here is just the soundtrack. They have an alarm playing the whole time. It's an annoying sound. An annoying sound. And none of the fights are anything beyond simple generic enemies, nothing really worth writing about. This is where Tidus finds out that it wasn't a bit, and the summoners aren't metaphorically sacrificing themselves. He himboed a little too close to the sun. Yuna gets captured by the Salami. Also off screen, this rescue mission was a bust. We're on a cool airship now though with the Alped, which is great. Sid is Yuna's uncle, and they blow up their home base. RIP home. All my homies love home. There's some other summoners on the ship, and like, if we know that the summoner who defeats Sin has to die defeating Sin, shouldn't Tidus just volunteer to be one of their guardians? Like, it's not a nice thing to do, but Orin made it back from the first pilgrimage just fine. Let's carry Donna's ass to Xanarkand, then come home and plow for 7 years of calm. It would be a great plan. If Yuna wasn't getting married, Seymour has decided to get married the old-fashioned way, non-consensually. We have to stop this wedding, Shrek style. Unlike Shrek, we have to fight the dragon. Also, unlike Shrek, this sucks. Its normal attacks do a lot of damage, but its poison breath straight up kills us. Not exactly, it puts us low enough that the poison kills us on our next turn. If they have a follow-up, they get to kill us and we die. The dragon also has a petrification attack. If you don't clear that, you're just down one party slot. For the first half of the fight, we're able to get a big initiative advantage since this boss is able to be slowed. Only problem is, in phase 2, he hastes himself automatically if you slow him too. Pulling the ship away is a good move, but if you hit him with a spell or attack, he brings himself in and poison breaths immediately. Yeesh. I don't really figure out what to do against this guy, and we fully wipe multiple times. It won't be until I leave, come back next stream, that we actually crack the case. So, big strategy changes. 1, I keep the ship in tight during phase 1. Sid launches a bunch of missiles if the ship's far away. They do amazing damage, which means that if they hit in phase 1, it starts phase 2 faster, and you're in phase 2 longer. There's only 3 barrages of missiles that he will do. That's bad. Unfortunately, we don't want to be in close for the poison breath even in phase 1, so we still shoot off 1 barrage in phase 1. Oh well. While it's far away, we can hit it with Wakka's ball, Tidus's magic, and Riku's lancet, so basically just Wakka's ball. Phase 2, we hit the pull-out game, making it whiff the poison breath, then pull up closer and start hitting ults like it's nobody's business. Lulu. Yeah, that one's pretty good. Riku's does 4 times as much as Lulu's. Mamma mia. We're so close to winning. One more pull-out makes it whiff its poison breath. Wakka gets the W. If anyone deserves it, it's him. Everyone touched the Blitzball. We get a lot of levels. Just in time for the sickest thing ever. Y'all ready for one of the hypest fucking cutscenes in video game history? God, no! No, no! Do not green screen me right now. If we miss Tidus, Sonic the Hedgehog sliding because of this fucking green screen, I am so angry. This is my favorite fucking cutscene. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, did we get there? We did. Okay, nope. So here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna fix it, okay? We're just gonna fix it. Are you fucking kidding me? This Sonic the Hedgehog shit? They were trying to take this from you? Then the game crashed again. PC gaming is so good. I'm so glad I'm not playing this on my PS5. Maybe it does the green screen and crashes on PS5 too. It just seems to be happening a lot to us this run. God damn it. Are you kidding me? Doesn't sound good. What's happening? I'm just trying to see this fucking cutscene. Okay, so basically Yuna's gonna jump if Seymour doesn't let the party go. She jumps, Titty Chicken saves her, and Riku saves us with a flashbang. Two things she really shouldn't be doing. We're meeting Yuna at the end of the temple, which means it's time for a temple puzzle. This is the worst one in the game. Skip. They take our ass to court, and it's not exactly a fair trial. When it's revealed that half the leaders in Spira are dead and unsent old fucks, that doesn't matter to anyone, and we're just in trouble for pointing it out. Thank God video games weren't political in this era. We're sentenced to death via being dumped in the death pool somewhere else.
Wait, aren't you even gonna watch them? They could get away.
No. I'm going to leave them alone and not actually witness them dying. I'm just going to assume it all went to plan. What?
Yuna is left all alone to fend for herself. I think you're supposed to be scared by this, like, oh, what can I do? I guess I have to summon, right? Well, no. Our Yuna is a strong, independent woman who don't need no aeons. She can drain her way to victory. Also, we can just run. The remaster lets you turn off encounters. It's pretty nice. Eventually, we bump into Auron, too, so I guess that's neat. Unfortunately, we get locked in a Pokemon battle against our fellow summoner, Isaru. Can't fight with anything other than summons for this, so hey, skip. The struggle bus party is Tidus, Waka, and Riku. These three will never accomplish anything. They're the swimmers, which means anytime we're underwater, it's gonna be these three. God, I hope there aren't a lot of required underwater fights. Of course, there's also a fight against Ivare again. The dragon we got schooled by on the airship, and we only have these three to fight him. He instantly petrifies and kills a party member, leaving us with just two. Yikes. All we can do is open locks and run away, where he will petrify another one and leave us with two again. Eventually we gotta fight back, and it's only Riku and Waka, no Tidus. Which, I guess, if I had to choose two, it would be these two. Photon Spray hits us hard, though. We have to use two Chocobo Feathers, which are item versions of haste. All we can do is charge Riku's ult while Waka spams the Albed potions, and hope that eventually that whittles everything down. If you're screaming, Phil, it dies to healing. Yeah, I know that, because I scanned it later in the fight and found that out. Turns out this thing is under the zombie status effect, which means it takes damage from healing. If you throw two Phoenix Downs at it, the thing just dies instantly. It's an incredibly easy fight if you know what to do, which I eventually figured out after struggling. Folks, I'm not the expert at doing these challenges. I'm the guy who remembers loving this game when I played it 20 years ago and wanted to give it another shot doing these challenges. The whole squad gets back together and just in time to get attacked by Seymour once again. I guess his name is accurate. I see more of this guy than I do of my own kids. I don't have any kids. This time he's got a crab man who starts morbing all over the place. We died instantly. Didn't even do any damage. Gotta do better next time. Can't really do worse. This time we just start swinging. And by swinging, I mean sucking. Yuna hits those drains while Tidus comes out and focuses the party up. Focus raises the party's magic attack and magic defense, which means more damage from the drain and less damage from the attacks. The crab defends Seymour, but after you take out its health, it starts hitting the Morbin time and sucks some health from Seymour. Phase 2, he starts going for petrification and stone breaking. It's a dick move, but he's not very accurate with it. Riku hits her big ult, and that gets us a lot of progress. Also found out that Yuna can just hit Seymour directly. Womp womp. The game also just fucks us. Oh, no, what the fuck, game? So it switches our drain target from Seymour to our own party member, and then I'm so fucking angry, fuck it. Just, okay, the game crashed. I hit the speed up button and the game crashed. It's so weird how this happens as soon as I start playing games on my PC instead of my PS5. Wild. We know what to do a little better here. Charge focuses and get haste on Yuna, but not everyone because we don't want him to get grumpy about it and dispel it. Get Riku out partially to jinx and lower its luck, but mostly just to charge her ult. Then the camera moves to the position and try to make us hit ourselves with Drain, but I learned from last time. Turns out with speed up, this can be done really fast. Go Yuna. Rocks to suck. Speaking of, we've escaped to the Makalania Woods, and Yuna and Tidus take a special swim. Fun fact, Jecht and Auron took a special swim here on Braska's pilgrimage. That statement was fact-checked by true Yevon patriots. Also, yeah, it's another game that has a love scene in it. Let's grow up and be mature adults who can stomach a healthy expression of intimacy in a video game. Are we so isolated and fearful of our own vulnerability that we can't allow for two characters? Tidus and Yuna are officially dating, and they hold hands going back to camp. I'm sorry, it's adorable. Our time on the run is over. We can go back to the calm lands where everything will be calm. Look, Maester Seymour's plan for Spira is plenty progressive, okay? It's better than Sin, which means it's good. Honestly, we don't need to dunk on Mayo Pete. He's doing better than like 90% of the Dems. I just hit the panic needle drop and can't separate those two concepts in my head. The Calm Lands are where the summoners used to bring Sin to fight it before the Calm, that's why they're called that. It's just a big empty area where nobody would get hurt. Not a bad plan. Not a ton of story actually happens here, but we get blocked off from Mount Gagazet by some Seymour goons and their Iron Giant. It can't be slowed, it basically one-shots the whole squad, specifically Yuna. Protect helps, but not enough. Orin can take a hit, and it looks like we can provoke him, so sorry buddy, looks like you're the punching bag. With Yuna hasted, she can suck faster, and Lulu is hasted to heal faster. We can wait till we have the opening to bring in Tidus and focus up, but then Yuna runs out of magic. Oh well. The fight's pretty free once we realized we could provoke with Orin and have him take all the hits. Believe it or not, the big dumb robot is pretty dumb. After an easy boss fight, we climb Mount Gagazet. Hopefully this place isn't full of a bunch of little monsters. Kimahri is getting bullied by all the Ronso because he isn't bullied enough by the fanbase. In traditional Final Fantasy X circles, Kimahri is a joke. His stats are all pretty round, so he's not great at anything, and everyone else is better because they have a specific function. For us, that's perfect. He couldn't be bad, no matter what his role was. But his lack of focus leads a lot of people to just kind of ignore him, which makes this mandatory fight against two Ronso a little stressful. For them, our Kimahri is great. This Kimahri can definitely handle two Ronso at the same time.
And all of that was okay, 'cause it was in a freeway.
Two Gaga references back to back. They don't call it Mount Gagazet for nothing. You know, I will say I appreciate interesting fights. Double up Ronso, Robot Warriors, anything but another Seymour fight.
He's right behind me, isn't he?
We've fought Virgin Seymours before, but this Seymour, Flux. There is a slight problem in this fight, and hey, let me know if you can spot it. He's got the Zombie Lance and the full life combo, that's irksome. He can be poisoned, which means Tidus gets to contribute. He has the bio spell that poisons, and hey, what does Cross Cleave do? Jesus. This isn't gonna feel good. Okay, you might think, well, you weren't at full health. Maybe if you were at full health. And then we just died. So this is the part where I realized maybe the RPG that normally takes around 45 hours to beat, per howlongtobeat.com, can't actually be beaten in 20 hours, especially when you're doing an extra challenge that makes all of your characters suboptimal, and you're working on game knowledge from 20 years ago because you haven't played this game since you were in middle school. Maybe we need to grind. But what do I do for a long grinding section in the video? Just skip over it entirely? Or perhaps this would be a great time to explore the themes of the game and what this art is saying about the world. Get calm, everyone. It's the media literacy check. Oh boy, there's a lot of themes in this game, but I think at its core, it's really about generational change. Yuna and Tidus are the main characters, arguably more so Yuna than Tidus, but both of them are carrying the weight of great expectations from their parents. Braska, Yuna's father, literally saved the world for 7 years. Tidus's dad also did, but he didn't grow up with that weight. He grew up with the weight of his dad being really good at sports. Would you look at that? Both of these kids ended up following in the footsteps of their fathers, one out of reverence and the other out of spite. Spoilers though, the great accomplishments of their parents did not amount to much. The Calm is certainly better than the alternative. 7 years without Sin destroying everything is better than 7 years where it does. But the pilgrimage system is still so much less than ideal. Forget just having summoners die every 7 years, not to mention all of the summoners who get got by fiends on the way to Sin. All of that sacrifice doesn't even lead to a permanent fix. It's all temporary. As an outsider, Tidus is able to call this out. Pretty shitty. Like, what? None of you realize this system sucks? I mean, sure, the Al Bhed notice it sucks too, and in addition to kidnapping the summoners to save them from the pilgrimage, are building some big-ass machines to try and kill Sin. They haven't been successful, but that giant laser definitely seemed to do more to Sin's shields than, you know, swords do. But hey, the Al Bhed are evil. Remember, the church told you not to use Machina, and the Al Bhed do that, so they're evil. It's so straightforward. Except, as it turns out, the church kind of benefits from the status quo. They get to control the government, have their big blitzball tournaments that people love, and everything is pretty fine for them. Not only do they not have to concede their power to future generations, they literally don't have to die if they don't want to. Instead, they can just hold on to their power indefinitely in a cycle that's been set up by you, Yevon, since the beginning. Effectively, this is just status quo from High School Musical. Oh my God, I didn't even realize it. But yeah, the challenge run is us saying that we want to bake and dance and stuff. Spoilers for the end of the story, Yu Yevon is a little ghost bug that pilots Sin and effectively corrupts the guardian of the summoner when they beat Sin for the calm, turning them into Sin. It's why our dad is Sin and Yuna's dad is dead. Society raised these two up to be its champions, but the god of the system perverts one of them into being a deadly agent of the status quo, because the status quo is gonna kill some people. It just does, it just has to. And if you try to do something different, it could be worse. So we better just leave the status quo as it is. I think it's especially relevant how young the party is, and maybe the only charitable read I can give the game on making some of them actual children. Our little group represents the potential future, and boy howdy, the existing power structure hates us. Turns out being racist was a bad thing, and maybe working with the Albed could help, and using Machina is good, because yeah, we use a lot of Machina by the end of the run. The religious order effectively hating the idea of technology and progress is very rooted in real world situations. I mean, when the printing press hit, peasants were told it was bad, because if everyone learns to read, you won't need a priest to do it for you. Books are the devil, TV is the devil, video games are the devil. Basically anything that could show you an alternative point of view, that's the devil. Empathizing with your fellow man, that's sin. That's what makes sin. That's what, if you do that, you get sin. All worth noting, there's plenty of good religious stuff in the game too. The faith, the aeons you're supposed to summon, they're great. They want to help you as much as they can. Faith is so important to you defeating sin, you literally need to use them to beat Yu Yevon at the end. Although you do sacrifice them, so maybe the game is pretty explicitly anti-religious. Pray's a great ability though. Sin is considered a punishment for the evils of society in general, but in the end it's more like a punishment for not trying to get rid of it harder. People try to get rid of it, but they just try the same thing every time, and then they know how the solution ends, specifically in that it doesn't end. Instead of trying something new, they just maintain the status quo, and then the status quo kills everyone. Effectively, your group of youngsters dive into the heart of the status quo monster by singing a pop song and make a celebrity whale calm down to sacrifice your faith at the center of it. You even kill the dreams of the status quo, and the oldest guy in the party needs to admit it's time to retire. Final Fantasy X is a radical story about radical youths doing radical things, which is also pretty in line with the other Final Fantasies. I mean, Final Fantasy VII is about eco-terrorists, but they frame it like it's a good thing. I have no opinion on whether or not it's a good thing. Of course. Eventually I got sick of grinding, even though we probably weren't that much better. I only grinded for an hour. Maybe Lady Gaga could give me some inspiring words to help me win.
Don't be a bitch.
Also, fantastic Lulu casting if they ever want to do a Final Fantasy X TV show. It shouldn't be a movie, it should be a TV show, I think. You do like an anthology series, one season for each of the games. Anyway, rule of threes, let's flux this box up. Haste everyone, we gotta go fast. Then we start draining the Morbius thing and poison Seymour with Tidus. Cure Orin Zombie with Azuna. Miss? Okay, so Zombie can't actually be cured with Azuna. Didn't know that during this fight. Still didn't figure it out. Thought we literally just missed. Bring out Riku to firebomb this bastard. When it hits the Dispel, we know he is about to cleave. Cross cleave. Here's the moment of truth. Can Kambari or Orin live it? If not, they are both at full health. Okay. Well, okay. Can Kambari have a turn? Excuse me? Oh, I don't have any more Mega Phoenixes, huh? Yeah, I used all those, huh? Alright, well, we made it. That's all that matters. Orin hits the Mega Potion just in time for another cross cleave and the bullshit Zombo combo. Eventually, we get a few turns to get back into the rhythm of the fight. The team gets rezzed up and healed up. Here's what I want to try. Protect. If I protect Lulu, will she live? Because I think he always does Dispel before he does the other shit. So let's haste Kamari here, because we know Kamari will live. Is that on himself? Auto attack mode. Flare. Well, isn't that lovely? Ready to annihilate. Oh, lovely. Isn't that great? It's ready to annihilate everyone. So yeah, welcome to phase 2. But we made it to phase 2. That's exciting. We throw a shell up on Orin. He's able to live total annihilation, only to die to the flare. Oof, that's a wipe. At this point, I looked up guides, and they told me to use Ultima. I'm nowhere near Ultima. on the spirit grid. So I think I might be lower level than most people are by the time they get here. Running it back, pretty much the same opening, down to the Azuna whiff, because I don't learn things. Don't come here to watch optimal gameplay. Come here because I make more jizz jokes than the other creators. That is why you should come here. This time I also crank out some focus with Tidus to make the team better at resisting magical attacks. Total annihilation counts as magical damage after all. Also, protecting Lulu before the cross cleave allows her to survive. Then we hit a Fire Fury before he puts the Reflect up. It works great. I learned that Reflect does not reflect Fury casts, so we could have done it after Reflect went up too. I put Reflect up on the Morby thing, should stop him from buffing it. I hope we survive another cross cleave. Walker comes out to luck everyone just to make sure we get some more crits. If we're officially in phase 2, I think we're officially in phase Riku contributes to the fight. Enjoy, fucko. Wait, he didn't put Reflect up, did he? No, it doesn't matter. This isn't magic. This is just a fireball. Full party is shelled up for the annihilation. Will we live? All right. We're full shelled up. Full health, full shell. Fucking lived. Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay. Holy shit. Holy shit. I did make the mistake of reflecting everyone and then made the mistake of dispelling Morbius instead of Seymour. Apparently Seymour is the one who has Reflect, not Morbius. Also, as soon as he gets dispelled, he just reapplies it. So a little mistake here. I'll pray, I guess? Oh no, I'll cure Kamari. Ah! Fuck! The Reflect was a bad idea. Yeah, Reflect reflects all spells. It's kind of a good name for it. It's also why it's a bad idea to use Cure on someone you've reflected. But then, Flare? Yeah, dumbass. Okay, how's he doing? He's got to be fucking close. Oh my god! Hey! Hey, baby! Oh, holy shit, yikes. You know, I was going to be like, Tidus bro acting like he participated. Stay up there. He did like 80% of the damage with that bio, I think. Tidus comes clean to the squad that his dad is Sin. Everyone seems to think that he might be bothered by fighting his father, and no, he's pretty stoked about that part. Hey look, it's a big wall of faith, and Tidus got sucked into Xanarkand. What is going on? Basically, when Xanarkand and Bevel went to war 1,000 years ago, the faith of Xanarkand had a little dream version of Xanarkand they whipped up, and that is where Jecht and Tidus are both from, which means we're a little dream lad. Apparently, also, Tidus was kidnapped by a time-traveling Xehanort at the start of the story, and the version of the dreams that Auron has been going through are real, but the ones that Tidus was going through, oh, never mind. It's a plot from a different game. This next area is a water section, which means it's time for our problem children, and our problem children have not gotten much better, while the game has gotten much harder. So here's an idea. Just skip it. Just turn on counters off and run. We've got to fight just like a big-ass dragon. He's apparently the guardian to Xanarkand, but he's mostly just a big-ass dragon. I was a little worried we were just going to instantly die. All right. Standard strat, haste up Lulu, then hit the scan. This thing's power level is over 37. That's high for this game. He's not immune to poison, which means Tidus gets to contribute. Isn't that rad? The shell goes up on Lulu right before the mana breath, so Lulu gets to live. Azuna, if I put Reflect on it, will its Azuna hit Reflect? I believe it will. Enjoy, fuckface. Get fucked, nerd. Get fucked, nerd. Poison and Reflect. It's so based. Unfortunately, this means that Yuna cannot hit her Drain now, since it would be reflected, so to get her hand on the Blitzball, we just whack it. The real danger is the confusion from Photon Wings, especially when our big boys are out, because they hit hard. Eventually, it figures out that it needs to put Reflect on our squad if it wants to Asuna itself, but by the time it figures it out, it's already dead. Easy win. The real boss, trying to beat this game without the waterworks. Some of these cutscenes, they hit me where I live. We made it to Xanarkand at least. What a shithole. All the fiends here are guardians who died during the final summoning. Damn, how long have we been calm cycling? Thousands of years or something? Oh, yeah, actually. We get to see Auron and Braska and Jecht. Unfortunately, there's also one more puzzle, and it's just Tetris but worse. I won't get into it, but the other puzzles at least had like an internal consistency. This is one of the worst video game puzzles I've ever participated in. That also means it's not good content, so holy shit, it's a dragon. This one does full frontal rudity, meaning that if you attack it, it attacks in front of itself. But we can teleport to the other circles. It also has the guts tail, which makes everyone go berserk so they can't do anything other than attack, which means we've got to haste up Lulu so she can Susu. Turns out Provoke works for this, so we set Orin up with Protect, put everyone in the backsides of this thing, and let Orin go berserk. Waka gives us some luck, I guess, for more regular crits. That's about it. Sometimes the boss puts mines on the floor, probably move when they're there, but it's not all that critical. Like, they literally one-shot you, but death isn't so bad. At least it's not confusion. Sometimes people get got, but it's just a matter of resetting the strategy and coming to victory. Probably not all that surprising that Orin and Lulu are almost always part of the winning strategy, because they have jobs that actually suited them. Uh-oh, there's no final Aeon. Apparently one of the Guardians is supposed to sacrifice themselves to become the final Aeon, and last time that was checked, which y'all knew, because I mentioned it in the media literacy check. But there's a lot of story here, doesn't hurt to repeat things. Here's the thing. Yuna and the gang, they're not gonna play that shit. We're gonna bring it to Yunalesca instead and kick her ass. Then come for my dad's big ass next.
Hey, phrasing!
You know shit's serious when the cutscenes start having VHS glitches like it's the damn ring tape. All the buffs we set up are stupid. Whenever Yunalesca attacks, she auto-dispels any buffs. She's immune to all status effects and casts Silence when you cast a spell, casts Sleep when you do a weird other third action like stealing from her, and Darkness when you hit her with an attack. Oof. Eventually, she'll also put zombie status effect on us, making healing impossible. She is very vulnerable to holy magic, and apparently, at this point in the game, it's pretty normal for your characters to be leveled up enough that your white mage has the holy spell. We never get the holy spell. Even by the time we beat the game, we have not gotten enough levels to get the holy spell. We're still like 3 full spheres away. Thankfully, she registers Reflect as a neutral buff and does not dispel it with her attacks. So we throw that up on our pals and then just heal with Pray, because she doesn't really do that much actual damage. Which means the strategy is once again, Orin does all of the attacks and Lulu heals. But sometimes Waka heals, because he has Albed potions, and those don't get reflected like a cure would. Hellbiter? I hardly know her! We're all zombified? Easy fix, so we're gonna swap out to someone who isn't zombified first. Oh, that's still not great. So remember that reflect we had on ourselves? Turns out her strategy of constantly zombifying us, then dealing damage with Cura, means that she also curas herself a lot. And we can't get rid of the zombie fast enough, so I guess let's just try to kill her. For some reason, when we tried to drain with Yuna, because Yuna is zombified, it heals the boss, which made me think the boss was zombified, but no, and so that's why I Kuraga'd her with Lulu. Whoops. Maybe I should have just tried a basic cure first. We're just gonna go farm some items, come back with zombie proof, and make this all a little less annoying. I guess we'll also probably get some levels. Isn't that neat? Would you look at that? Thanks to movie magic, we're back to phase 2, and everyone on the squad has zombie proof. But for some reason, she hits the regen on herself, and it's completely nullifying any damage we're able to put on with Kamari and Orin. Riku is able to mix it up, but that doesn't actually even put enough lasting damage on, so like, what am I supposed to do? Why is her regen just doing 1,000,000 times more than it did? Oh, I have Dispel. Why don't I just Dispel her? Well, maybe this time also won't be a win. This is a much better strategy. Hellbiter's raw damage is basically nothing. There's even enough time to swap on some Death Ward armor on a few characters for phase 3, which always starts with Mega Death, where it casts death on everyone. Isn't that fun? Unfortunately, Death Ward is only 50% effective, which means we're relying on luck to not eventually just eat shit this fight. We eat shit this fight, and all of these fights take forever, and it took another full hour just to get zombie proof, so that one hurts. First stream back, we get it, because we had enough stuff to make Lulu 100% death proof.
This car is 100% death proof.
We also saved up Riku's ult for phase 3 to spend less time here. In this phase, I don't even bother curing, knowing the boss will fully hit a mega death before we need to. Mind Break can be dangerous, it confuses everyone, but she's so eager to bite that it fixes the confusion as soon as we take damage. Also, weird note, there is no item that directly cures confusion. It's just remedies. Remedies nuts. 4th try win. Yunalesca's dead. There's no going back now. We couldn't make a final Aeon if we wanted to, which we don't per the rules of the challenge. I don't use Aeons anyway. Sid comes by to give us a ride, and we're just gonna go fight Sin directly. Hell yeah. Let's turn this Sin into a win, with nothing bad happening at the end.
Well, imagine
as I'm pacing the pews in a church corridor.
Fighting Sin in Fortnite, boom! We got him. We're gonna play the Hymn of the Faith to distract Sin and make him take a nap. Then blast him open and absolutely bust our daddy's insides wide open. I mean, they don't call it Sin for nothing. Yuna is no longer in trouble because the church has decided she's the only hope to save the world. They're just telling people the actual cool stuff we did is a bunch of Albed bullshit. The woke mob is trying to cancel Yuna when obviously she's anti-woke. Remember when the right decided that Sydney Sweeney was right-wing for like 2 weeks because she just breasted so boobily? But then she had a movie coming out that she produced where she was like a nun fighting a demon. And they were like, oh, never mind, she's woke. That was weird. The Faith have an actual solution. They're going to take over final Aeon duties so we can kill them, then they'll get some rest, and we'll finally beat Sin once and for all. Sin launches a beam out that carves the world and oceans in twain, but it just makes Tidus and Yuna fall down. Thank God we invested in our defense. It's got its fins up, which makes sense. Jekt gives big parrot head vibes. This is very similar to our other airship and boat battles where we can scoot in or out. The difference being, this one's very easy. Occasionally, it will hit Gravija, which technically does do a lot of damage, 75% of whatever our HP is to be exact, but there's always time to heal back up before it hits us with an actual attack. It can dispel our hastes, but okay. No, this one's easy. I think it's just because, spoilers, this is part 1 of a 3-part boss fight. They didn't want to be dicks and make any of those sections very hard, which makes all of them just kind of boring and easy. Crank the fast forward up to the max and just smack away. Fin 1 down, which means it's time to hit fin number 2. It's the same as the first fin, he must be ambidextrous.
You can read minds.
Means both hands work the same. Thankfully, they're great at catching, both from Jekt's blitzball days and his time with Auron, so Sin can catch these hands expertly. And we get to the third part of the fight that's more interesting, partially because, we're low on magic all around. Yuna has been draining, which is quite expensive, and Lulu has been healing like it's nobody's business. Healing shouldn't be a business. Healthcare is a human right. We now have to fight the Sin spawn genitals? They're stuck in front of Sin's core, meaning that if we want to get to our dad's core, first we need to beat off his jennies. These jennies are locked up in a cage before sending out their infectious goo. Is every boss gonna be this sexy? Unfortunately, Jekt is a real size king because these size are cutting us down to size. Eventually, I put Riku out to farm ult charge and throw some of our hundreds of high potions. Dude, if you have a self-destruct mechanic, I'm gonna fucking scream. No, you're dead though. Yes, you're dead. Does overkill get me more AP? Is that for AP-ness? You think I'm only making dick jokes in the voiceover? I'm landing gold like this all stream long. This core is pretty easy. Again, it's mostly hitting only percentile damage Gravija, while occasionally sending out some basic magic spells, I guess to catch you off guard. It's a scary fight, but once you know the gimmick, it's kind of a haunted house. You know you're not in any real danger. Sin is not dead. It just crash lands in the ocean with a big hole in it. Time to enter our father's, oh never mind, it's awake again, and perched up on a building. If we want inside our dad's hole, first we need to see what that mouth do. That mouth do charge its ult and fire a beam that auto game overs you. Doesn't matter how much health you have, this is a raw DPS test. Kill it before it ults or you lose. And folks, we don't pass. We don't come close to passing. It hits the giggity gravitron and we just die. So what do? We try to farm supreme gems from it, which are a low steal chance from Waka. Didn't get one, but let's see if we just mix a supreme gem. We have one supreme gem, I believe, right? Supreme gem with a level 3 key sphere. What do we get? Our overdrives charge faster. Attempt 3. Let's see what happens when Riku mixes a Supreme Gem with a level 4 key sphere, Quartet of 9. Huh. It seems like it might be a slight buff to Riku's damage. Let's see that damage. Good damage. Good damage.
That's a lot of damage.
Remember how I said Riku's the best character in the game in normal runs? Well, it turns out if you allow for overdrives, she stays the best in every run, as long as you know which fights are important and worth spending your rare-ass items for. Sure, that Supreme Gem could cast Ultima, I think, one time, and that level 4 key sphere could have unlocked 1/4 of Ultima on the sphere grid for Tidus. But I think it's much better to create One Punch Riku. Kind of a one and done though. The Supreme Gem is gone and it would require a little extra effort to get the rare items to do it again. Spoilers, we don't use Quartet of 9 again. And I really wish we could, because guess who the fuck comes back?
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
His fire attacks do quite a bit of damage, like so much damage that we just died in 2 turns. This guy makes Riku look like Tidus. On attempt 2, we get Lulu out to null, and it works better until he hits Ultima, then we die too fast. And you can't get back into the rhythm when you're just running up against the current a little bit too much. Yuna and Kimahri can get Fireproof and Fire Eater armor, making them totally immune to fire, so they can hopefully live longer in that first section and help us pump some damage out. It works fine until Ultima, which does around 4,000 damage to each character, and our beefiest boy Kimahri is at 4,044. I think I haven't leveled up enough. You can't null Ultima, though Nultima is right there. Come on, Square Enix. It sounds too similar to Nutella. I hear that now that I say it. We could not beat Seymour. It was too much, so I went to grind for an hour and came back. All right, I don't know what we're gonna do. I figured out nothing. Love that confidence. First up, we armor break so Kimahri can hit it harder. Then we bust out a little buddy known as the Stamina Tablet. It's an item we stole with Waka that doubles up the health of one of our team members. We still have to heal them to get them up to that HP, but it should make sure that there's at least one guy living. Now, maybe the strategy should have been to hit the wheels so they aren't synced up, but am I supposed to learn that? Am I supposed to know that? Am I supposed to be good at this game because I made a video about it? You don't have to be good at things to make videos about it. I'm actually sincere content creator advice. If any of you are looking to create something, don't wait until you're perfect. Most people out there who watch your videos won't be perfect, and I think there's some novelty to just making a video because it's something you like and because you're mediocre at it. You're just a normal person. Your perspective is different. I mean, it's kind of why I think my Elden Ring videos got worse, right? Because I got too good at it. It's hard for me to talk about it and seem interested. After Seymour dispels, we know what's coming and prepare with some shells. Is it enough? Holy shit, Lulu lived. Things are harder in the Blizzard phase since Kimahri isn't fully immune, but we can still set up basic immunity with Null Frost. At this point, we have time to set up the Stamina Tablet on Orin to double his health. Then Kiraga brings him up to a level where he can survive the Ultima. This time, Lulu couldn't shell herself out of it. We're now on the water phase, the essence of wetness, but we're not there for long. Send his ass to hell. Finally, we're able to open up our daddy's hole and walk around inside. It's quite roomy. There's a lot of creatures and there's a fucking city in here. Also, there's a weird spinning room where the camera just kind of goes around in a circle. You got to pick up 10 crystals. Don't get hit by the taller crystals or you have to fight an enemy. I don't know why this is here. It's to symbolize crystals, I guess. One final confrontation with our dad, and then the big boss version of him comes out. It is Jacked, Braska's final Aeon. Wow, what a damn doozy of a boss fight this is. What a damn doozy of a boss theme. Oh, I'm sorry, what? Oh yeah. The challenge of this fight is 60% eject and 40% each of his pagodas. They heal him 1500 HP and charge his ult at the same time. He's actually not immune to poison, which means that Tidus can contribute, or so you'd think. The pagodas just also instantly cure all status effects. Doesn't even pop once. Jacked Beam is a real concern, petrifying one of our party members if we don't have stone proof on everybody. His ult grips and slaps. If the party member lives, they have zombie, so we can't heal them. So we also need zombie proof, or we're cooked. Oh, also, the pagodas just respawn the next turn if you do take the time to kill them. And he uses Osmos on Lulu, which steals all of her magic, so she can't heal anyone. Jectus Christ, this dude is relentless. By the time we clear up status effects or take out the pagodas, he's healed away any damage we were able to contribute. I gave it a few college tries, but we straight up cannot get it done. This is the final boss. Technically, there are other final bosses, but they're a joke and we'll talk about that later. For now, it's back to grinding, specifically to get items to make us stone proof and zombie proof. The best way to do that is just running around, doing a bunch of quests for the arena, clearing out enemies in an area, you get a cool reward, and a bunch of items that are good for making items immune to things. But also, maybe we'll pick up a few good mixing items while we do that. I just did some off-screen grinding because it's boring, and did about 2 hours of it. All told, we probably spent 7 hours grinding this run in total, which I'm pretty good with considering that I'm not good or optimal at this game. I'm just figuring shit out. Also, the grinding here is in low areas that suck. We only get about 15 levels total, and all of those are just on Waka, Kimari, Orin, and Yuna. Nothing for any of the other party members. Those were the best at hunting fiends, so they're the ones who got the levels. One last important level thing, Yuna got to the end of her ranger path while I was grinding and had 12 levels up to go into her next path, which we rolled for, and it's Thief. That's ideal. It gives us a second person who can use items. Everyone has stone proof and zombie proof, but Waka, Riku, and Tidus also have auto phoenix, meaning they will automatically res when someone dies. Why those three? Aren't they the pathetic characters that we hate? But I mean, except for Waka, who's actually been great for the entire run. Well, somehow those are the best three characters for this fight against Jecht. Each one has a special ingredient to win, and I'd say their contributions are about equal, with Riku's being a lot more equal. Waka is up first with a stamina tonic. It doubles everyone's HP but doesn't heal them. Then we get Riku out, and do not use her just yet. We need our whole ideal 3-swimmer squad out. Waka hits another stamina tonic for us, and then Riku's about to make the dream work, folks, because we got 99 copies of a little fucking item that the kids are calling, where is it? Door to Tomorrow. So we're going to hit the trio of 99999, which means that now every attack this team makes does 999 damage. So now I'm going to hit the Mega Potion, which should bring everybody up to full health. Super full health. Yeah? Beautiful. Look at these large-ass health bars. You're triumphantly grasping us, but guess what? That's should be fine. Didn't feel great. Also didn't kill us. I didn't lie. We didn't use Quartet of 9. We used Trio of 9. That's different. Waka. We're going to use a grenade. So the grenades hit every enemy, and our minimum damage is now 9,999. Both pagodas die, and also deal damage to Jecht. Orin comes out and hastes everyone so we can 9999 faster. The Jecht beam doesn't matter, we're all immune. I mean, it doesn't tickle, but it doesn't kill us. So what does Tidus do? Well, if anyone can do 9999 damage, why Tidus? Why not Tidus? No, actually, why Tidus? It's because he has a special interaction with his dad where he can cut the overdrive bar. So he's going to be mad, he's going to hit us again. But little did he fucking know, dog, you just made Riku stronger. Because now Riku can hit some other crazy shit. Light curtain or learner curtain, boom. It's Ultra Null-All, giving us max cheers, shell, and protect, so everyone takes less damage. I don't know why we didn't just use one of her many multi-hit ults and end the fight, but we were close enough to end it anyway. Jecht has been defeated, and he calls Tidus a baby one last time in the cutscene. Father of the Year. Now we've been transported to the inside to fight you, Yevon, who's going to possess all of our Aeons.
Oh no. Anyway.
Yes, this fight's easy for a lot of reasons. Reason number one, you can't die. You have auto life on every character. If you die, you just don't. The only way you can actually lose this fight is if you petrify your own teammates. But it's even more easy for us because it uses our Aeons. You know, those things we never upgraded at all this run. Since we didn't pick up any extra Aeons, we also don't have to fight any extra Aeons. All of this culminates in a fight against you, Yevon, themselves. It's like a little cloud. It heals itself, it does Gravija sometimes, it also hits itself with Gravija. I'm waiting for Riku's ult to charge. We'll hit Trio of 9999.
Time to float.
Mix them Doors to Tomorrow, and Waka can hit the pagodas and the boss with a grenade at the same time. Sadly, it auto-Kiraga's 9,999 health, which means the only way we can hurt it is outliving Gravija. Unless we had, I don't know, some sort of multi-hit move. I fucked up. I know what we need to do. It's fine. Because, you know what would be really good with Trio of 999 up? A little multi-hit attack, huh? Something with a little bit of multi-hit. All right, here's the time. That seemed like an effective combo. Sin has been defeated. Nobody did their jobs, but everyone got to follow their passion. Also, their ults were really good, So what does that mean for the moral of this challenge? Sure, you could take it to mean that you don't have to do what you're best at, you can do what you love and still turn out okay. Or maybe you actually are learning that you can't escape who you are deep down. You'll always have your overdrive, so maybe you should just drive to be happy. I think mostly we learned that Tidus is very bad at casting black magic, but will always be useful because he's a Nepo baby. Orin has to go bye-bye because Yuna is doing a mass sending of Sin, and if Orin's here, he's getting sent too. Then, on the airship, Tidus turns into dream dust. God, I'd really do anything I could to get these two kids back together and happy. Except, like, Final Fantasy X-2. I mean, even I have limits. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe for more. We're going to be playing new games on our little Elden Ring tolerance break. Join the Patreon to support the channel. It's the best place to do it. Check out Tulok the Cardbarian if you like Magic the Gathering and are excited for that Final Fantasy Universes Beyond set. We'll be talking about those cards for sure. And check us out on Twitch. It would be really fun to see you all over there. Bye-bye.